Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Man Like Will. Welcome back to the channel, mi gente. And I am proud and privileged to be joined here on this Arsenal 2024-2025 season objective stream with two of my fellow Gooners, my colleagues, close homies here. I am here with Mr. Tariq Talks and, of course, Man Like CrabDribble. Man, them, what are we saying?
Are we getting paid for this? He called us colleagues. Yo, I didn't know about it. I'll send you my paper.
Yeah, for real. My lawyer's going to be in touch.
My accountant will send you the invoice. Will
that's fine. You know what? Yeah. Send me all you want. Yeah, it is what it is, fam.
I want a fedora if we're colleagues. I want my own one.
What color? What color though? Because listen, yeah, the beige is pretty much trademark at this point.
Gray. Give me one in gray.
Are you sure you don't want one that kind of matches your do rag in
it? Blue nah. Got a contrast, mate. In fact, give me one in black, green, and red, like our kit. Oh man.
Oh my days. Boys. This season, yeah, it's last season I should say, it was hard fought, it was bittersweet, definitely emotional, but now it is pretty much a redemption arc for Mr. Mikel Arteta. I'm gonna start this off with you, Crab. Going into this, what are your kind of like expectations for Arsenal? Because you have been, as we have been talking about, off camera of, last year or last season rather, he's been falling apart with some of the, domestic competitions. But mainly because his main priority is league. What do you think should be his main objective or like the minimum for him next season?
Good question. Main objective should still be the Premier League. I'll agree with that. I think it should still be the Premier League because that's just the closest we are out of all of the competitions, well, at least the major competitions. But minimum objective, I do want to say he has to deliver a trophy, but I think he has to compete in all four of those competitions. We have to take them seriously. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. I know that's the Carabao Cup, but I think he just has to take them seriously. Even if it's a Carabao Cup, you just have to take trophy seriously. Liverpool been doing it, Man City do it. Like, match them and actually go for all four. And then, if you slip out with a few, at least. And I think competing for the Premier League is not enough this year. We have to compete for the Premier League, but we have to be right there for one of those other trophies. And ideally, FA Cup or Champions League. I'm talking like final, semi-final. That's what I think it has to be. If we're not going to win anything, I think you have to show that we're competing on multiple fronts.
I agree with that. T, yourself?
Yeah, I totally agree as well. It's mainly just competing in on all four fronts. It's going to be difficult, but that's what we're trying to build now with this squad, with the transfer window, with the development of these younger players. The sales that we're going to make, of course, by the looks of it, it'll be Eddie, Reece Nelson, and Mill Smith-Rowe, some of the Highlanders. That'll bring some money in, and if Smith-Rowe does go, because there's a lot of talk that Arteta wants to keep him, but I also want to see him use those players a little bit more often, the squad players, building up that squad. I understand with Eddie and Reece in terms of the quality, like we've seen, that's what's been our detriment in those other competitions. The quality, like in terms of range between the squad, is too big at the moment. That's why we're having to over rely on so many key players. Like if you're looking at Manchester City or even a Liverpool, who were able to compete in the Carabao Cup and got to the FA Cup quarterfinals as well, and lost to Man United in that type of game. But what they've done over the years is build a team, a squad where players can come in. Yes, you still have your spine in your team, like your Salibas. I don't expect him to be chopped and changed every week, and even your Sakas or Odegaards. But are you able to kind of level up like what we've got on the left, Martinelli, Trossard? Can we have that up front? Now we're going to have that in defence. We've kind of had that in their left back, and even that's been a place of issue for us. But we've kind of had players in and around a similar level there. But can we also have that in the centre back role where Gabriel is now? So we're not having to always play Saliba and Gabriel.
Mhm.
I think we have done that. So yeah, that's the big thing, challenging on all fronts. And yeah, hopefully picking up one trophy at least out of it. But as Crab said, I think Crab said it perfectly. If you're not going to win it one, and that's worst case scenario it has to be, is we still competed on at least 3 of them, at least.
And I completely agree with both of you, because I think that now, especially what we're seeing with last transfer, with like the last summer window and this one, especially with now that kind of Fury is pretty much is almost done at this point, with like what I think it was the medical almost is pretty much it's booked now. We're just waiting for him to just kind of do it at this point. And rumors have been speculating that I think what was it? I can't pronounce this guy's name, but Victor, his last name, it starts with a G. I can't say it.
Eucharis.
Let's go with that.
Victor G, is that what we're going to call him from that?
I just been calling him Victor G, fam.
That's a great for the back of a shirt, to be honest. Victor G.
Yeah, actually.
He has been linked with us for quite some time from the spring up until now. It's pretty much official that he has. Oh, not official, but I think I did see something from Fabrizio Romano as well, and from Live Score that Arsenal are very much interested into bringing him in. I think that would strengthen the side, and that can pretty much I don't know what you may think that can help us in terms of getting closer and closer into strengthening. Strengthening into this
our attack.
into our attack. Yes, and I'm sorry I'm just kind of distracted at the moment, but what I'm saying is that the attack, I should say, does. I'm sorry. I have so much on my mind because this asshole's here in front and is standing here. What the fuck do you want?
Will's having a Joe Biden moment here. Oh shit.
Okay, just hombre. Jeez. I am so sorry.
That's okay. That's funny.
Look, anyway, I'm saying that like with proper strengthening, I think we should be able to be competing at all fronts. But if he were to go trophyless, my question was to get to this point. Fucking hell, do you think there's now option? Would the questions rise now? If he were to go trophyless this season, do you think should he be in that under the pressure now?
I think so. You got to apply context, obviously. Like, I was fuming at the end of last season when we went trophyless as well. But, it takes some time to reflect and go back. And then when beginning a new season, you're back on that buzz again. Once you start seeing preseason and the new kits, you're back in that. It's hard to think about the things unless you're certain YouTubers. But I think honestly, every manager should be under pressure. Not depending on the context of your club. Arsenal have shown 2 seasons in a row that we can compete with Man City for the Premier League. Okay, so we're now, when people say who is the second best team in the league in terms of how they're playing right now, who's the second favorite, it's Arsenal. We took it to the final day last season. So yeah, I think there will be questions based on how we end the season, and you can apply the context. Look, we got knocked out by Bayern Munich. I think you can't really. The game wasn't great. We didn't play well in that second leg, but you can't really knock that. It's our first season back in the Champions League. Bayern Munich being knocked out is nothing to be ashamed of. It's the FA Cup and Carabao Cup exits, which were really embarrassing at the time. And I know it was Liverpool, but it was a poor Liverpool side. And then West Ham to lose in that front, like that's just unacceptable.
The Villa game as well.
Villa, like the way we capitulate in certain games like that towards the end of the season is also a worry. I think another year where we have a similar situation around March, April, May, where we start to, drop off a bit in the league and people start to perform badly, there will be question marks over whether he can get us over the line, which I think there are questions now. And look, he's an exceptional coach. Like we will banter him and people say stuff, but he's proven that since he's come to Arsenal, he can coach a side to play really good football. Like we play some of the best football, if not the best football in the league last season, but it's not enough. You know, you need to deliver throughout the whole season and win a trophy. So I think there will be question marks. I think a lot of fans last season was kind of the last bit of this process, and they were like, right, this is it. And I think 90% of the fan base is like, this is it. So we need to do something this season, or I think there'll be question marks. And then you'll start to look again. There'll be question marks depending on who's available as well. If there are better managers out there and it gets to that point, like bloody hell, I mean, it's a long shot. But what if Jurgen Klopp says, you know what, I'm ready to come back to management in a year, and we go trophyless? Are you not going to go, you know what? Why would you not? Would you consider that swap? You know, Ancelotti's going to be up in a year. You know, when it's a team ready to win, do you want someone to take you over the line, or do you know, you never know who's going to pop up in a year's time. So that also affects it. If there's no managers available, obviously that's different. But yeah, I think the pressure will be on. You will apply context, but I think all four fronts, we have to go for it from the very beginning. We have to show intent that we want to win a trophy.
Again,
and that's the strength. Oh, I'm sorry, T. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add again. I agree with Crab in terms of what he said there, and I think we're in a position now as a club where you can be a little bit more ruthless in your thinking, and that's credit to Arteta, Edu, and the Cronkies and everyone else involved at the club for that. But we are now in a position as a club where you want to be as a top, one of the biggest clubs in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, with the revenue that we generate, with the fan base that we have, the amount of fans. Like, look at the tour we're about to go on now over in America. You'll see how big the club actually is globally. We are now in a position where I think Arteta would appreciate it as well as pressure. And if you don't succeed, if you don't win trophies or have any tangible success, you should be asking questions. Are you the right man for the job at the end of the season? And that's me as someone who's been a big Arteta fan and big defender, even in the lowest points, because I was looking at that from the position that we were in then. Now the position we're in as one of the best teams and one of the best teams in the world in terms of how we perform. We just don't have anything tangible to say this is why yet. Because Man City won the league, we haven't got a Champions League, we haven't got anything like those major honours. We're now bringing in 100 million on Declan Rice last summer, and look at the impact that he's made. Ricardo Calafiori, who's getting interest all over the top teams in Europe, and it's not just because of what he did at the Euros, because of the fantastic season he had at Bologna as well.
Speak on it.
As a left-footed centre-back, or he can play left-back in a position that is very scarce at the moment across the world. You see Josko Vardio, who had a good end to the season at Manchester City, what, £100 million or 95 million euros, whatever it was. Says a lot, really. And look, we have to look at that and we have to get a trophy. Because I see the Man United man then in here, and I hate to say it, but when Eric Ten Hag's winning 2 trophies in his first two years,
we can't get one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's peak though.
That was worse for us, them winning that. As much as I wanted Man City to get, but when they didn't win the Champions League, it was kind of like, we're not going to win a treble, so don't let Man United win it. And they went and Man United actually deserved to win it. And they deserve to be shameless. They're like, we've been shit. Our shittest year, and we still are winning. That's what top clubs do. You don't have to be. Nothing has to be perfect. You just have to be able to be taken serious on all fronts.
And we've won when we've been crap. So
and we got FA Cup. So why is it stopped? Yeah, exactly.
So we know now that we're at a level with City that we can beat them. We didn't lose to them, and we still lost in the title race. Yeah. That shows you
their best.
Levels. So
imagine that.
Yeah. I think with Tariq said, the other thing that you're gonna keep an eye on this season, and we'll know pretty early on. And I think this is, I do think this is what lets him down. It's the management aspect in terms of the squad, and I think that is his biggest flaw, Mikel Arteta, from what he's showing is. And it's strange. It's almost like, well, one thing, I saw you guys on Twitter talking about it. This situation with all of our young reserve players leaving needs to be stopped pretty soon, because that's
what I've been saying.
A little bit concerning. It's a bit concerning that these guys are suddenly just like jumping ship, from Hutchinson all the way up to, I think this kid who scored 10 goals is about to leave. Like, I'm not saying throw them in the team, but these kids are looking at there's no route to go into the first team, which is a bit of a problem. Nwaneri should have been given more minutes last season. Like when we're 3-0 up, throw him on, take Saka off. But on top of that, Nelson, like T was saying, Nelson and Ketia, these guys the bench needs to be getting minutes throughout the season, because my biggest fear is if we end up in a situation, look at it, Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United, all of them apart from Man City and Spurs really hit with injuries. I know Maddison was out, but imagine Odegaard had the same injury as Maddison. 3-4 months, out for the season, our main playmaker, our main provider of chances. But imagine we get in a situation like United or Chelsea, and we've got, it doesn't even have to be that bad. Let's just say Saliba, Rice, Saka go down. What the hell are we going to do? Because the guys that come in haven't been playing, and we haven't got suitable backups, or we might have suitable backups, but we haven't given them a chance. And that's my fear with the Euros going into this additional. It's an extra 5 games in the Champions League you could play if you don't finish in that top 8. That's nuts. Your January is generally. I play a lot of Football Manager. I'm telling you right now, January is a fucking problem if you're in all competitions, which we want to be. So that adds up. So we were very lucky with injuries last season. Like who got injured of that first team last season
we did have a few injuries, not really any long-term ones, apart from Timber. Tomiyasu was out quite a bit. Zinchenko was obviously out for the whole season too, mainly.
Jesus.
Of
that core 11, I guess you could say Jesus was a star at the beginning of the season. So
Martinelli got injured.
Martinelli was out, yeah. But at least
wait a minute, Trossard was out too at one point, wasn't he, or no?
Minor ones, but nothing because Martinelli was out for an extended period. He had he had a couple like hamstring injuries, and then that foot one, that bad laceration.
That's our safe side. The left hand side is quite teammate. We've got 3 bare options than Zinchenko now to play on that left in Tommy.
Our right side is what we didn't have options with.
Right side is Ben. No swap for Ben White, and
there's no one there on that right. Except
we haven't got anyone else for Odegaard or what, Fabio Vieira. Like, come on.
And that's what I was. And that's what I was going to go on to. Yeah, when you talk about the academy, because I've had a lot of conversations, not just with yourself as well, Will, but other people, and because I do think there's a fair debate to have. The criticisms of the academy, I think there is. They're all right, but then I also look at, I remember the PSV game. Do you remember that one? It was a dead rubber, 1-1, and that was a big opportunity where he could have brought on the likes of Raul Waters is now at Luton, Cole Dewberry is now at Brighton, Ethan Nwaneri or Miles Lewis-Skelly, those lights of there. But then I looked at it and I thought, one, I don't actually think those players are good enough really for a club of the academy that we've got right now. How they've performed, and having watched a little bit of them, they're not quite at their level. That's why we're investing so much more in our academy now, the Tommy Setford, Lucas Nygaard and all that. And there was a big motive on that. And 2, we still have too much like that. Again, it's harsh to say Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson are deadwood, but not players that the only minutes that they would have got from December onwards is that against PSV. If we had players at the level of Trossard, who were always going to still get minutes, who will start over Martinelli in some games, or Jesus and Havertz, if we have more of that within the squad, and less of your Nelsons, your Nketiahs, Cedric, for goodness sakes, even again, like Kivior not really being trusted as much, and he had to get minutes. If we're able to really streamline that creates a better pathway for these youngsters. So we're looking at now, like, if we do keep Emil Smith-Rowe, I'm sorry, I think, and we do get another central midfielder in, like we're linked with the Mikel Merino. How is Nwaneri going to get minutes? Because we're still going to have Fabio Vieira, we're still going to have Emil Smith-Rowe, we'd have another central midfielder in there, Rice, Partey, Jorginho, unless they could get in at that right wing spot. But we all probably agree that we still need to sign a winger as well that can cover both sides, that has a chance of starting on that left and can cover for Saka, because you start that Harry Kane, Mo Salah problem on the right. You're never going to buy just a backup because they're barely going to play, because Salah and Kane played all the time, and so does Saka for us. Whether it's right or wrong, we know He should get a lot more a lot more minutes saved than that. But you always know you're going to be a Saka backup, and that's why Tottenham had to get a Llorente, and Liverpool had to have a Shaqiri for so long, who aren't quite anywhere near that.
But do you think T,
say?
I'm sorry, T, but like quick question. So like, do you think though, what you were saying earlier when it pertains to just, you know, like having, you know, like just some of our youth players not being able to have, I guess, that entry point into the first team with like competitions like, you know, like the Champions League or like at some, you know, games of the, you know, like of the Premiership? Do you think it is sort of, you know, sort of like the incentive for, like, say, the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup for Mikel Arteta to have some of these players, to even, you know, to have them play in, do you know what I mean, and also to kind of excel into these competitions as well? Do you know what I mean? To have them play in.
But what did we just say earlier on, Mandem? And what did we agree on? That we need to compete and we need to win, and we should be aiming to win those. And yeah, obviously, if we have a bit more of a luck of the draw, if we get lower sides, we haven't really had that in the past 2 seasons. I remember like Liverpool in the FA Cup, still a tough game. I know we should have won it definitely, but you can't be putting out your Ethan Nwaneri's there. And the only reason they had a Bobby Clark and that one because they had an injury crisis at that point. Man City in the FA Cup the year before that, away from home. West Ham away again, and even before that, we still had a Brentford away. Still 2 Premier League teams. So that's the balancing act that he needs to find out, and that's why I'm looking at. We need to get rid of players that aren't going to play, and the only times that they would play because they're still professionals in Eddie Nketiah. Like, how many minutes did Eddie Nketiah get in 2024? He didn't come on at all. He didn't start a single game after that Fulham defeat, did he? And the same with Nelson. After that Liverpool one, didn't start a single one. And Cedric, of course, didn't even play. But we need to get rid of those players, and that will create an opportunity for the likes of a Nwaneri, a Lewis Skelly, who I really like in Aid in Heaven. We've got how many, because we're 8 Champions League games now in that sort of league stage. They can be on the bench, and if we're winning 3-4-0, we don't need to bring on a Reece Nelson because that's the only minutes that they'd get. And if we're trying to sell them off, like, we need to show them that they've got some value. No, we can bring on an Aid in Heaven, get them appearances. If they impress, maybe they can make the bench next week. So yeah, I think that's what we're positioned at. Because I look at Man City, I think that's the bar that they set. They've got an Oscar Bob, but they still have a Phil Foden and a Bernardo Silva that's still ahead of him. But if they're comfortable, Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden will get enough minutes. So it doesn't have to. So it's not saying you have to play them in this moment. Now, Oscar Bob, you go play. Rico Lewis, you go play. Or a James McAtee now that they're going to have for next season.
Yeah, I think with that point, definitely I agree with like competing on all fronts. We can't just throw these kids in those games. It's the bench. It's like majority of that second half of the season, we had like Walters, Nwaneri, Bandera, another goalkeeper, all on the bench. And remember we beat West Ham 6-0 and then beat Burnley 5-0. And in both of those games, we were 4-0 up in the first half. So what happens then is the exact same 11 comes out in the second half when you're 4-0 up. We are not going to lose that game if you throw on Nwaneri and give him 45 minutes. There is no way one player of that level, even if he's not ready for first team, is going to throw. And you saw when he came on, he was fine. And I think that's the element. It's like, why is Saka coming out? We need him for the rest of the season. Let him rest. Why are you not throwing Reece Nelson on for literally 45 minutes? We're 4-0 up. Like, you can take these guys off. I think Klopp does this really well. That's where it is. Klopp does it really well. And even second legs when, like, in the Europa, Europa League's different, but when the second leg, and that's why so many of their youngsters, Connor Bradley, Kwanzaa, they got into that team because they were given a chance. And I think T's right in that the level of these guys, it might not be, but we don't know until we see them. And when they're in that environment and surrounded by better players, they might, and especially, 4-0 up is a game where you can express yourself a bit more and there's no pressure. It's a perfect environment to their youngsters to get their debut and come on. And I think that's what I wanted to see more of. Is like these guys should have had at least 10 appearances. Like 2 of these guys should have had 10 appearances throughout the season when we had those opportunities, because we were destroying teams in like the first half.
I think Nwaneri will get that this season. I do think.
I think
if he
so too.
doesn't,
Sure.
we'll have to definitely ask questions about it. And there's no
like his quality.
because he's outstanding at the England youth level. You've seen it. You've seen it for in under 23s for us. He's a joke, and he's still gonna have to take a big transition. But we've seen it in his little cameo against West Ham. Like he's sharp.
He's technically very gifted.
Miles Lewis Skelly. Do you remember the Nuremberg game last year? Looked very sharp there too. So those two are kind of outliers because they are at the they are at the level. When it's been a lot about Roll Walters, maybe even a Kolja Dubry, it's like again, it depends. We'll see what happens with him at Brighton, because that's a great move for him. But do you know what I think the biggest issue is? We keep
I am so sad by that still, man. I can't lie.
These youngsters are going with 1 year left. The Chido Obi Martin's different. That's a scholarship. You have to. Like, you can't sign him on a professional contract.
Can't say no.
But what we've still got, like, if you look at some of the academy players, like the ones who are on tour, there's a lot of them that only have a year left. And if you're doing that, and if they're not getting first team minutes, which some of them probably shouldn't be good enough, we're not. How are we going to do what Chelsea do in selling them off for stupid money, but without having a first team game? Like James Trafford getting sold for 20 mil without playing a single match for Man City. And then Amari Hutchinson goes out on loan, smashes it, and then gets 25 mil of our player, the one that we grew and we spent all the time developing.
That's another thing.
Make sure we tie them down to much longer, like earlier, so they have 2 years at least. And then, if they smash it out on loan or smash it in the under 23s, then we can do what we did with Ballingall. See you later. Bang, we made profit. There was a little bit of moaning with the fan base at the time, and let's give him a chance. But I like that sort of ruthlessness and say, no, you're great, but you're not good enough for us. The levels that we need to get to.
I agree.
Do that. That's something we need to massively improve on. I will say.
I agree though, T, because the thing is that really did piss me off, man. It's just that it's not even just from our just like academy players, but just when we do sign players from from other clubs, and then we have them there, they're just rotten, and then we just loan them out countless season after season, and then we just don't really just do much with them, and we just let the contracts run out. Do you know what I mean? And it is one of those things, I guess, it's just down to the backroom staff that really they really have to step up, and it doesn't just one of my pet peeves.
We're not very good with the clubs we loan players to as well. I've noticed in that we don't send them to the right environments. Like these guys don't. What's his name? Went to Wigan. Oh, what's his name?
Omar
Curly, was it Wigan he went to? Or Portsmouth? No, he went to Portsmouth.
Which one?
He had a shocking loan. Oh, what's his name? I don't think he's not there anymore.
Miguel Aziz.
Miguel Aziz is one.
Oh shit, I haven't heard that name.
And he was kid who went to Blackpool. He's back with us, isn't he?
Who's that?
I can't remember. The playmaker who actually did get some minutes under. Was that under Arteta or Emery? That was under Arteta, I think. Playmaker, kid in the middle.
Patino.
He went to Blackpool. Patino. Charlie Patino. Yeah, I keep forgetting the names. I think the club.
There was actually a lot of hype about him as well,
Good, technically good players, but we're not good at it. And Chelsea just annoys me because they are just so good at sending these guys to clubs where they can shine, and then that 20 million should be ours. That's our 20 million that we should be using to add to another fee. Like we're so bad with getting the money out of these kids. Like Balogun was such a shock to the fan base. Same with Iwobi. That's 2 in the last decade that we've actually made good money off academy players. How many have Chelsea done in the last decade? How many have City done, or Liverpool?
What do you mind saying about this right here? Shout out to Rich. Your players are overpriced, hence why they are harder to sell. What do you mind saying?
Hey, we don't make money. Look at loan with obligation. Leicester City now, like. Hey, Amari Kellyman is going from Aston Villa to Chelsea for 20 mil. I know it's a PSR deal. Chelsea can sell off nuts. Liam Delap is gone for how much? 25 mil to Ipswich. something stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just they're moving
it
mad.
is mad. We don't make enough money off our players, but I think that's because our players have been crap mainly throughout the years. So yeah, when you know that your players are dead, then everyone they know, buying clubs know, over on stupid wages as well. But that's I think we're improving on that this year, though. I think I'm seeing the figures that are being bandied around in Smith Rowe. Yeah, it's overpriced, but if we sell under that 30 mil, 35, that's a fair return for someone who hasn't played football in about 2 years. Eddie Nketiah, same again. That's pure profit. 15, 20 mil for Nelson. I'll take that. Because again, even with what we need to remember, what we did with Nelson and Nketiah as well, is let their contract run until the last minute, and then people making a big song and dance about the wages that we gave at that point. They would have earned that anywhere else because they were free. We nearly let them go for free. So yeah,
I think we don't sell these guys at the right time. I think that's what it is, because like there are some good players there. Like prime example, Ainsley Maitland-Niles should have been sold to, was it West Ham or Wolves for 30 million? We were 20 million for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. What did we get in the end? Didn't he go for free?
Yeah, contract.
Good player who was in and around the first team, played in that FA Cup final, very versatile. He would have been perfect for a Wolves. And when we were offered that money, we should have taken it straight away.
Roma as well. They were
West Ham
interested.
and Palace. We should be jumping on these at the time, and I think we don't. Like Edu and Co, they don't, because when teams are sniffing around Eddie Nketiah in 30, 40 minutes, and when it's Premier League clubs, I think that's the other thing. When they're sniffing around, we should be going to them and say, right, we'll do a deal with you. Like you've seen him. He's in and around the first team. He's scoring goals. When he comes off the bench, he's not our starter, but you can see he can score goals. He can go and start for you. When he goes a whole year just doing nothing off the bench, you can't go back to West Ham or Palace and say 40 million. They're going to go, are you crazy? We know, we've seen him. He's shit for you. It's at those moments where we're just afraid to jump on it and sell. And I think Smith Rowe is at that moment now where I like him, but I think at Arsenal that might be the end.
One more year without football, that's nothing. You're getting nothing.
Where he's got, So it's like now, if we're not confident that Smith Rowe can stay fit, and we can't find a place for him in the rotation option, which he is good enough, and he proved it as a goal scoring midfielder, you sell him right now. Like you just sell him. It's that simple. Exactly. And if we don't, we end up in this situation in a year.
If we're going to be, whilst we're criticising how the club do, I think Arteta has to take some criticism for this too. You bring in David Raya, Ramsdale doesn't play a single game.
Man, that one.
To Kieran Tierney again. If you know you're trying to move these players on, you need to sell them before you even have someone brought in yet. Because that's if it's mad giving Aaron Ramsdale a contract. I'm sure if anyone would have heard that was even a sniff that Arsenal were willing to sell, they would have pounced on it straight away. And let's go 40 to 50 million for Aaron Ramsdale. You could have got, but now they know he's a second choice goalkeeper and he's had no minutes and he's on high wages now because we increased his wages.
He's fourth choice goalkeeper for England, so it's not, you can't even use that as an argument.
Exactly.
That was handled terribly, that goalkeeper situation. Raya is the better keeper, but it was handled terribly.
I mean, but don't you think though that just happens in football though? Because it
does, but you can avoid it. Like he was saying, the Ramsdale should have been sold straight away. When we were linked to Raya,
I agree.
Like, why are we keeping him? Like
I agree with that, and I
should
think
have been a shot. My days, what are we doing? Like go through all of that. I don't care. I don't mind that. The noise. Just
while
make
his value was high.
I agree. I think that. I think that when it comes right down to it, I think for me, Ramsdale should have been done. Should have been dealt with, quick and easy. And because I think this whole saga of like will he or will he not? It's pretty much well and clear that Raya is pretty much first choice. It fits with what Arteta wants to do. It's having a goalkeeper that's pretty much good with his feet in it. And Ramsdale's obviously he's not good with his feet at all.
If he's good with his feet, it's more about like claiming crosses.
Reliable.
Yeah.
I don't think so though, because I mean,
we
I don't know. For me, it's just
we did. He started to become error prone, and his stock is so low, and it's like that interview then comes out, and it's like we're not getting any money for this guy, man. Like that's every other England goalkeeper got injured, and he goes to the Euros and has an amazing Euros. It's like which club is going to pay us for Aaron Ramsdale now? Like,
not with them wages,
because exactly.
Yeah, because that's why we shouldn't have gave him the contract. If
It's
you know
it makes
you want to
no
look
sense.
for a better goalkeeper and you're looking to improve in that area,
Why give him
careful,
a
man.
contract? Yeah, this
Yeah.
this is it's
So-
a dangerous element. Like Martinelli is another one, which is I love Martinelli, but if he has
180
another season like
week.
if he is another season like last season, we are in a bit of a predicament there, and I'm not sure
And
he's
that's the
dropping
thing.
form. Hopefully, it was just the injury and the knock, because Trossard's there, and they're neck and neck for me in terms of the right to start on that left hand side. I am happy with either one of them on our first game this season starting. I think
180K a week is mad.
But now he's on 180 grand per week. You as a backup, if you're if Trossard comes in and you come in, and you don't do anything, we're stuck. We're stuck with him. He's young, he's Brazilian. There's a people, but 180 grand. We're in another situation now, and it's like Martinelli giving him that contract, knowing that I mean, it's dangerous business, and that could have been ineffectual. But he needs to have a good season because we'll have another player who we can't shift.
Let me quickly.
But you know,
ask
if PSG comes, if PSG just go, we still need a winger. How much do you want for Martinelli? I'd have the conversation. Literally, I wouldn't. I like him.
Hey, listen, if
I
PSG come
like
knocking, if PSG come knocking and they drop 60 million, 70 million on him or whatever, high as they can go, they can take him.
He's on the odds list as well. I mean, obviously he's not Mbappe, but if you're looking at goal scoring wingers on that side who are potentially available, he's up there from top clubs across Europe, and he's young as well. And they know if he comes and scores a load of goals, Barca will go and sign him in 4 years anyway.
I'm not opposed to selling him. Listen, if you want to, if any top club is willing to pay top dollar for him, take him.
I've only got 3 players in this Arsenal team that are unsellable like that
now. Yeah,
only 3. Rice, because we've only used to just signed him, and I think
Big Willie, come on, man, Saliba fam,
Saliba, Saka,
that's it. Yeah,
I'm
with you.
I'm with you. If I'm even saying Erdegaard, the captain, and I know he's a Mikel Arteta, and the club will have a different idea on that, but 80 to 90 mil, 100 mil, etc.
Have a conversation,
have a conversation, yeah, because that's how we got to operate like this. Like Man City can lose all of these players and still win leagues. They can lose club legends in Sergio Aguero, Fernandinho.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Still go and win leagues.
You need to cover yourself so you're not relying on 3 players is fine unsellables, because it's not that once you start going above that, it becomes very much you don't want the team collapsing. So I completely agree with those 3. Those are the ones we have to keep. But I mean, not to go back, but the thing about the trophies thing is, let's not forget what happened 10 years ago. Literally 10. Probably a bit longer, 15. No, actually, shit. Yeah, about 15, 16 years ago, what happened with the set of young players we had coming through our team at that time? Absolute worldies as well. What happened when the club started to go a certain direction and the trophies dried up? These guys started to look elsewhere. Might be a different situation because we don't have the quality. Those guys, a lot of them weren't really full-on academy players, so it might be a little bit different. You're looking at Fabregas and Van Persie's. But who's to say that doesn't happen? We don't know that. Like, this whole thing of building these guys together. But they're gonna want to win. Like, if they have top mentality, these guys, like Saka's gonna win a Premier League. Odegaard's gonna win a Champions League. Like Rice joined us to win trophies. He won one at West Ham. So he's joined us, and how's he going to go 3 more years and he's won more trophies at West Ham than when he joined bloody Arsenal?
Then
these guys are going to start looking at it and go, you know what? Bukayo Saka's going to start looking at it and go,
then this is why.
What happens if Liverpool go, right, Mo Salah's leaving, we'll give you 80 million for Saka's got a year left on his contract, 80 million, take it or leave it, and we haven't won anything. Why the hell would Saka sign a new contract?
This is why, though, that really the pressure is going to be mounting on him this season, though, Arteta, because he needs to deliver something. That's all there is to it. Because
you don't end up like Poch, man. Spurs Poch. That's where it will go. In terms
no. Stop it.
Our football's better.
No. We're not gonna go there.
Hey, they finished second too. They finished second. No, but you know what? People will look back 10 years and they'll look at the exact same way they talk about Spurs on the Poch.
Absolutely.
Good football. They were really good, but they didn't win anything.
Okay, but I do want to open up this question because T, I do know that you're on a limited time scale and all that, but so we were talking about touching base on some of the transfer targets, some that are coming in and such. Who, in your guys' opinion, who do you think will be leaving Arsenal for sure in your minds?
Eddie, Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and Jakub Kivior definitely leaving. I think those three. Is Smith Rowe again? I think he should. I think it is time for him to move now, because there's still, and it's mainly because it's not a question about the talent. It's more to do with, or do you fit the principles of what Arteta wants? Look at how we move out of possession and how we are the best defensive team in the league and one of the best in Europe, like by statistics, goals conceded, and that. I don't think he's good enough out of that. And if you're not going to be great out of possession in Arteta's team, you're going to have to be damn consistent in front of on the attacking end in scoring and creating chances. And I just think it might be time for him to go move on, go be a star, man. He's 24 now, needs minutes. He's barely played any minutes in the past 2 years. Probably 1,000 minutes in the past 2 years altogether, and that's not enough. When Bukayo Saka got over 3,500 last season. So those three I definitely think will leave, but I'd put, if we sell the SR in that as well, I mean, man, that's about 100 million,
We'd definitely make 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100
Especially with Kivior, because he actually played a lot of games and he's new, so we should be able to get a decent.
I
And he's
would
got a
rather
lot of interest.
Yeah,
I know, but I would rather keep him personally than keep Zinchenko personally, honestly, because like Zenny, while Zenny can be versatile, yes, but the thing is, a QBR, he would strengthen even more, for our back line, and he shined really well last season. Well, many didn't think that he was even going to get a chance, so I don't know. And Zenny, he can maybe go for 15, 20 mil, maybe. Hey, more funds.
I just don't think there's interest in him. It's the same in Partey. I'd ideally sell Partey, but just don't think.
Yeah, why is Partey not? I don't understand what's going on. Like, no one.
One year left in his
I
contract.
did see that Saudi was actually interested in him, but
yeah,
it was
I agree with those names. I think Nketiah, Kivior, the Smith Rowe one is. I'm really concerned Chelsea are gonna. I mean, if Chelsea and this Enzo situation blows up even more, and Maresca wants to play a 3, you've got Caicedo, potentially Lavia, and now there's a gap. And you need someone a bit more progressive. If he's playing that 4-3, because Palmer will probably play on the right. Palmer on the right, Sterling on the left, Nico Jackson down the middle. So, and even before he joined, I thought Smith Rowe as a player for that Chelsea side is a great fit. Now, even more so if Enzo's on his way out or something, they're trying to loan him. But even Villa, Newcastle, and then Newcastle haven't really got money at the moment like that. But Villa would be another perfect one. But I'm surprised they haven't dropped a bid in, especially with Champions League. There's other clubs in the Premier League which I think he goes to, and he becomes a star, like in some of these clubs if he stays fit.
Palace.
Problem is Palace, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm hearing this Eze to hearing Man City is sniffing around Eze. Eze at least they go. Smith Rowe's not a bad replacement for one of them if you can keep him fit. So there's options for him, and he looks at that team and he goes, right, where do I stand in this team? Am I the backup to Odegaard? Like, am I going to get rotation? Like, am I going to? What happened to this playing him in false 9 in training? What happened to that? I guess did that not work?
One game,
yeah, exactly. So what? How long will we waste time training him to play false 9? Like it. And I think even before when he was scoring goals, he can play. He's very versatile. He can play, stick him on the left, stick him on the right. Like, give it a go. Like, you don't know until you try at times with these guys, and it's like he is a similar player to Trossard. I think in that profile, he's not as good a dribbler, but in terms of a goal scoring midfielder, if you want to put Trossard in the thing, their movement and their eye for a goal is very similar. I think we don't have too many players. He's an underrated passer. Yeah, we don't have too many players that profile, which is why I would like to keep him. But I do ultimately think his time at Arsenal is probably run out, and we might as well take the money now.
I agree. I think it's best if we just cash him out now, get it the most as we can, and just have him move on. It's one of them ones. I think you guys can probably agree that it's, we're proud to say that he is one of our own, but it just didn't work out in it. You know what I mean? And that just happens in football. There was a question here that brought up here from Rich. Do you man really think that you'll be ready to start for the start of the season, considering your difficult start, especially if you don't add more?
Let me get our fixtures up again. We've got 3 big away games, haven't we?
Yeah. I think we'll be ready just in time because of when Saliba, Saka, and Rice will be back. They will be most likely be back for the Emirates Cup games and play at least one of them. And we have got Wolves in our first game, then Villa, and then it's Brighton, I believe, and then Tottenham, then Man City, something like that. Am I right in saying that, Crab? I think you've got them up right there.
Yeah, Villa, Tottenham, Man City, 3. That's
those
not
3 away
5 games, man. What the hell?
That could be.
Let's see. That could be. Even if we draw those games, we're looking at being 6 points behind City after 5 games potentially.
Yeah,
that's nasty at the beginning of the year. So we gotta be ready. And it's like we proved last season we could beat these guys at their way, but Wolves at home, Villa away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away, Man City away. Then it gets very nice for the next 3, to be honest. But
yeah,
we got some tough ones. I mean, we got Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea back to back as well in October and November. Like the fixtures this year, they're very top heavy at the beginning. I'd say that, but you don't want to be out of it by the time you get to Christmas or even before. Like you don't want to be having to catch City or 6 points.
That was our problem last season, wasn't it? Because of that December, those last 2 games, and
you cannot
drawing
catch them.
2-2 against Fulham with 10 men. A joke. And even the Spurs game itself, 2-1 up, comfortable. Jorginho, Siliera.
Yeah.
Look, those are the fine margins.
Spurs and Fulham, man.
I will say this, though. September is going to be very interesting, considering that we do play Spurs and Man City.
Yeah.
Those games are going to be
back-to-back.
Dicey. Mad dicey. Man.
Also, Spurs won't want to have, exactly. Spurs won't want to have what happened last year at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. Man City, we know is going to be a tricky game, but we always seem to perform quite well against them. Like we can get a draw there.
Yeah,
it's doable, but we have to be ready.
Yeah, I think with the players that we're looking at, who are going to have to step up, are the ones that underperformed last season. Your Fabio Vieiras, your Gabriel Jesus, and we didn't see much of Timber because of injury as well. So that's again like a new signing. I know that phrase gets bandied around. It genuinely is like a new signing.
Yeah. What do you think about the striker situation? Because that is definitely if we go for our team, that's the biggest question mark right now, isn't it?
Do you think?
Yeah.
Currently, as in if we're not signing anyone. I mean, do you think we're going to sign a striker?
No.
You think you're going to go Havertz and Jesus?
No.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. No,
and then I don't really think the third.
See that makes me feel quite uncomfortable. Go for the year. Jesus.
It's a bit mad still. It's a bit mad still, though, Crab. Because
I just don't trust. I loved how Havertz did, but you saw him at Germany. I do not trust him as our starting striker for a whole season. I do think he's actually proved he's been a good signing. It's a lot of money, but I think in that last 3-4 months, he was quality. Yeah. He was absolutely quality. You can't
as soon as you move him up front.
As soon as you move him up front. But also it was 3-4 months, and he did do that at Chelsea. He had some good spells with them. I think across the course of a season, I don't yet trust him to lead our line.
He never scored that many goals for Chelsea though in a single season. So I just think we don't. This is where I hear what you're saying, Crab, and I still think we need a forward-ish. I think we need another winger.
Big old target.
Yeah,
we need a goal scoring winger.
Number 9. That's what it is. We just need a number 9, fam.
A number 9 would be ideal, but I just don't think there's that many number 9s that will be able to give us what Arteta wants in terms of what he does outside of the box and score goals. Maybe
we're signing a different profile player, which ultimately means we're signing a backup. So we can't spend 70 million on a player who's not what the manager wants to do, which is we're all looking at these strikers and none of them are going to start over Havertz or Jesus because that's not how he wants to play, which is a risk.
If Jesus gives us 10 to 15, we're not even asking a lot.
And Havertz does the same. Yeah. Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
it's
is,
true.
Big
if
improvement.
Jesus is
Big
actually
if
fit,
though.
That's
if
the
it is,
if.
if he's fit,
the if is not is more about him staying fit though, innit? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
That's
he is a bit I'd say he's more of a risk than Havertz to
because of
provide those goals in those moments for
Yeah.
us because
it's more
he
because of
just
fitness though. Like
the fitness does affect him, but I just think if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go with Havertz, and that still makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. But if we can get Havertz playing like how he did consistently through the course of the season up front, we're good.
Mhm.
But that is it's a big if because I know it's different, but you saw it in Germany. It's like his finishing is just very questionable. I know he did a different role slightly, but his finishing, I think, that's the thing which comes onto us. Outside of Trossard's our best finisher, Saka's pretty good when it comes to the thing, but Saka has to do so much more that we can't be relied on to just always be in the box.
exactly.
Odegaard can finish as well, but like that front three is just collectively, I think there's more goals that we can get out of them across the course of a season.
And we're forgetting Martinelli too, but the brother scored 15 non-penalty goals the other like 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago, yeah,
3 or 4 last.
It's insane drop, like insane.
But the thing is, last season that brother had so many good chances to it, like very good chances, just
really
to score
fell apart. Yeah,
it's frustrating. Like the downward spiral for him last season was just.
That's what I mean with these guys.
A happy medium, a happy like 8 to 10. Like next season, that's a big improvement already upon what we've had last season, and we scored 91 goals. So that's what I mean. Like that's why my thing's not really a striker.
The team.
Yeah, because we get goal. Like I still think Odegaard is going to get 10 minimum. Like that's just because he's that good of a
he has to,
consistent.
Yeah.
Saka, you know he's going to get it, even just from set pieces alone, like with the goals and penalties and whatnot. Havertz, even if he just slightly underperforms again, but we lift the level up with Jesus and Martinelli. We need the likes of Vieira to chip in with a little bit more. I'm talking 5 goals. Like I'm not asking for loads, but those will make a huge difference because we didn't get that last season. And if we got another winger, which I would be, this is why I think on the market, you know, I like Tony, but the club don't because of personality and off the pitch issues.
Yeah.
So looking at who's available on the market, I mean, he looks like he's going to Barcelona. I'm not even his biggest fan, but he definitely improved. Nico Williams.
I'm completely with you. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'd sign him. That doesn't mean I wouldn't sign him at all. You would profile a player based on his profile. I don't think he's as worldy that they're making him out to be, but based on the profile and who's available, I wouldn't be mad at us if we sign him. It's a similar thing how I feel with Calafiori. I'm like, I'm not mad at that signing, but I'm not like screaming from the rooftops, we have to sign Calafiori. But I'm like, that's fine business, to be honest. Like, let him come in. 50, 60 million for Nico Williams. The wage is obviously a bit chunky, but yeah, I mean, Barca, just like no matter where they are, that club, man, it's like, we'll have him. No, he's not going anywhere. It's a tricky one because I get the point about goals being shared. I'm just trying to think last season if there were I think there's more situations where we looked at chances and we were like, oh, can you imagine if that fell to an Ivan Toney or if that fell to someone else, we'd be up here. But if we do share, if all those things go correct, Martinelli steps up, Trossard steps up, Jesus steps up, all these guys need to click and step up and also stay fit. It's doable just based on the fact we scored so many goals. But it's one of those ones where like also the luxury of having another number 9 would be nice because it's like we could have both, right? We could still do the same thing that Arteta wants to do. If it doesn't work, you throw on this traditional number 9 and you change. You take off a midfielder and you go a bit more direct or whatever it is. Like,
and that's the thing though. Like, do you think that there was? I mean, in a way though, to kind of play devil's advocate for Mikel, like, do you guys think that is there really much of a need for a number 9? Because that's kind of like the way that he's kind of set up the team over like the past few seasons. Like, okay, you having the goal scoring responsibility shared like throughout throughout the team. You know what I mean? You have your Odegaard taking chances. You have Saka. You have now Kai Havertz, and then you have Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli and such. Do you like in his mind he's thinking, well, do I really need a all and out number 9? And even though we think that that he does, but really in his mind it's not really such. Do you guys think that's fair?
It's more of a want than a necessity.
But also that completes the 6 up front. because we currently got 5, right? Jesus and Trossard can play anywhere on the front 3 and out wide. So actually, you're basically just taking Eddie Nketiah out and bringing in another striker. And I think you just do what Liverpool have got, and City to an extent, but it's kind of different. But Liverpool have got 6 players that play in that front 3, and they rotate outside of Mo Salah. Klopp was using them in various situations and rotating heavily and things like that. And even Salah got a bit of rotation towards the end. I don't think that's a bad thing. And obviously, like if we spend 65 on Havertz, if you spend around 65, 70 for a striker and he's not going to start every game, you've got the option. And it's kind of like the defense is very solidified outside of a couple backups.
Yeah.
The front is like where you're kind of like, well, where do we need to spend money? And it's like another goal scorer, a goal scoring option. So why not? Like it wouldn't call it crazy. Like I know people will complain and go, you spend all this money and he's sitting on the bench. It's like he's an option. You have him on the bench. That's the whole point. Man City have out Julian Alvarez on the bench. Liverpool have Diogo Jota on the bench. These are goal scoring players that can come on and you switch things around, they get you goals. And it's like there's nothing wrong with us being in that situation where we have three players on the bench who can change the game. Is a beautiful situation to be in rather than not being in it. So yeah, I think it's close between the want and the need, but I think it's not a crazy decision to buy someone of that caliber, even if you're not going to start them for the whole season.
Yeah, and that's where it goes to. If we get a goal scoring winger who can give us even 10 to 15 with a look at what
Pepe.
You see, in another world, Nicola Pepe. Yeah. In another world, just to quickly on Pepe, because I'm sure you guys saw the comments on that. It's not about ability, man. It was all mentality with him.
It was,
the fact that he felt that way about criticism, that's not, you can't.
His head went because that second season,
crazy.
He was what we're talking about right now was literally Pepe. Goals and assists.
Like 18 from the bench in all comps.
He got the most GA of anyone in the team in this second.
He was cooking, fam. He was for his time,
and he wasn't a starter. And it was like that's what you need. Someone off the bench you bring on, and they're ready to go. But it fell apart, which is sad because I really did like him when we signed him.
Question here from Rich. Shout out to Rich again for providing all these questions in it. Who gets better output for you in your current system? Yeah, fully fit ESR or Eze?
They're playing different roles though, weren't they? If they're fully fit, Eze would be on the left wing, and
I think they're quite similar though. Like that left type of player. They like the little 1-2s, the little link ups. They're both.
Would you play Eze? Would you rotate him with Odegaard? If we had Eze, would you play him Odegaard or would you play him on the wing?
I would play him out at actually right wing, honestly.
Because Eze can't play in a 3-man midfield, can you?
That's what I'm thinking. It's a bit light.
I think Eze
Odegaard. He probably could.
Rice.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bit too attacking. I think you're going a bit too far.
What am I going a little bit too? Pervy with the
with the right. Now you said the right. I've not seen Eze play on the right. I don't. He's usually up the left, isn't it? That he loves that left space. So
that's a tough question.
Yeah, but fully again, ESR can score goals, man.
Yeah.
But I like Eze though a lot. I just think.
Yeah. Do not let Pep get him, please. Don't do that.
No, just don't get Pep. Pep, just don't get any more players, fam. Like honestly,
that's the other thing we got to worry about is they haven't even signed. Well, Savinho, they haven't signed anyone else. It's coming very soon.
Just watch it.
I'd say Eze's got better creativity than ESR, so I'll give it on that.
Watch Pep sign Musiala. Yeah, it's over,
man. Don't even.
If that happens, I generally think just don't even. What's the point? Like, what is the point?
It's over. It's over for Man. Yeah, I'm telling you. If that shit happens, man, I'm saying this on camera. Yeah, I'm watching NASCAR full time. I'm dedicating this channel to a full NASCAR channel. I am never watching the Premier League.
No, we have to match it. We have to go and get Kimmich. If he does that, go and get Kimmich. Play. Go 4-2-3-1. Kimmich and Rice in the midfield. Just try and beat him that way. Just pack the midfield.
I think Musiala and Foden will be fighting each other for the ball though. Like they're both ball dominant. Like in basketball, you got like ball dominant players that don't necessarily work together. Like I think that's what they'd be like.
Man said, okay, shout out to Wajid. Don't you think you're giving ESR enough chance?
No.
Nah.
But I don't think his body's allowed him to have enough chances either.
It's just his injuries, fam. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Personally, I just think that now, I think it's personally for me, I would like to just cash in on him now because I don't want to give it. I think it's too much of a risk. Also, he's not going to be giving enough play time, to be honest, because if you look back at it, like last season, he was barely given any game time. He was basically just sitting on the bench. I think he played like last season.
Yeah, he didn't play. He played less than 1,000 minutes. I know that, but again, I'll give you this example with ESR, and this is his career. He full on. Yep, he started the game against Sheffield United in the 5-0 win, where Eddie Nketiah scored a hat trick. He was meant to start the next game. I think it was against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. It was so that would have been the first time in how many years we see ESR start 2 games, got injured, wasn't able to play, and then missed that opportunity. Arsenal lost out of the Carabao Cup, another competition ESR's out in, and that's what's been the story of his career. He's just not been able to string games together since that season where he got like 10 goals for us, and yeah, I think he does need to go and play football as well. But I do,
and that's the thing, dude. Like honestly, like as much as I do rate him, I think just for him, just for his career, I think it's not gonna happen as much with us, unfortunately, and that's just part of football. You know what I mean? That happens everywhere. He just needs to just go find a place that can help him play, help him have first team football. And I think for like a team like Fulham, perhaps a team like Palace, if he's looking for a team like maybe in the top 6, would you think that he could start for a team kind of like Newcastle? Do you think that they may make a bid for him?
They ain't got the funds. Newcastle would be perfect. Chelsea would be really good, and Villa's a tricky one because they actually have got quite a chunky squad in midfielder, but Newcastle, I think, is perfect.
Top
Palace
tier.
is good. West Ham would be if Paqueta's going, which it probably is. West Ham would be another one where I think these are all clubs he goes in and he fights for a starting position, and actually does pretty well.
Yeah,
it's a tricky one. I think cashing. I'm just thinking actually, what about Danny Olmo? So I'm just checking. I'm like, he plays midfield, but he does play on the left wing. When he's played left wing, he's got a goal ratio of 1 in 3 versus when he plays in midfield where it's 1 in like 9.
But as a goal run, sorry.
But aren't his wages high though at Red Bull?
I don't know. I know his release clause is like 60 million. He signed a new deal to 2027. In 2023 last year.
Big up to you, yeah. No worries, fam.
The thing is that he comes in, he can score goals from the wing.
Yeah.
He can play in midfield. There's options, man. But yeah, ESR, I think another DRB would be best to sell if you guys are wanting any progression. Yeah, I think so. When the money's there on the table, like Villa just got the money offered for DRB, they're like, yeah, see you later. If you're not a guaranteed first team starter and the money's been offered, why not? Why not? If Eze leaves, go to Palace right now and say, right, we want that money.
Seriously, yeah. For real, if you're given the chance, man, just go for it. I mean, maybe it's just one of those nostalgia things. Maybe because listen, the kid wants to play for the club. I get it, but it comes a point where you're like, bro, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Your body is telling you, look, man, just kind of, it's not gonna. It's like it's slowing down for you. You know what I mean? This like the club, you're not gonna get any minutes. Go for a different club. There's no shame in that. You played for your childhood dream, club. Just move on in it. You already achieved success with that in some level, But man, it's a shame that I was gonna ask T this question, but you know what, Crab? This was gonna be my final question to you, fam. But Premier League. So the Premier League, it's crazy to say this, but as much as if once we do win, do you really think, that we will win the Premier League? Yeah, can you say that with full chest?
No.
that we will win the Premier League next season?
Nah.
No.
Nah. I can't say it with full chest. No way.
No.
No way.
What will make you say it?
Ask me after the first 5 games. I don't think it's a signing thing. I think it generally is how we start the season and how we use this squad. Yeah, you got ask me after we play as away games, and we come out unscathed. You can ask me then. But right now, I don't look at us and say we have enough in us to topple Man City again, and they're going for number 5.
So not even with like if once we get all our transfer business done, and
but what's left
also,
to do?
Well,
The striker or goal scoring winger who we don't know who it could be.
we just need a winger, and also I guess
that does change things depending on the profile of the winger we get, or winger / striker. That changes things now. But right now, Premier League started tomorrow. No,
right. If we get a winger in the same like let's say, I mean, we're being linked to like a player such as Pedro, like a Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto.
If we were to get like a player linked to him, and we were to sign him, and if we were to get a striker, and also if we were to get a player over the line such as Mikel Moreno, right, we get them done, all set and done. That still one gets you saying, okay, maybe there is a chance we can.
No,
we
that's
can
different. Yeah, if we sign Pedro Neto, definitely.
That's gonna get you done.
I'm on board now. But again, the same thing of like now we got was Trossard goes through the middle, like we rotate it for sure. Pedro Neto is the standard of winger. I think can definitely add. The guy was involved in like 90% of all of Wolves' goals last season.
Brother is that brother's a killer. That right wing, he really is.
If he stays fit, nuts. Like he's better than Trossard, and he's better than Martinelli. So that's an improvement. Why not? But I think we're still it's not even the players. I think the players definitely, even the ones that we have, are good enough to win the league. It's just how Mikel manages this squad across the season. That is the
mentality. It's the mentality.
When it gets to April time, what is going on? Why does Saka suddenly fall off a cliff form-wise towards the end of the season?
Right.
Like that's what happened last 3 years in a row. We've thrown out like where have we been? Top 4 and the league twice. We've dropped out of it around March and April because we just haven't had the legs or the mentality to get over the line. And a lot of teams did not like go at us earlier on in the season last year. In the second half, they smelled a bit of blood and they started to give it a go. But in the first half, and even in the first half of 2024, or the first few months of 2024, teams weren't really like there were moments when it's like counterattacks were open. Like there were ways to get at us and it wasn't exploited. And we're not going to have that situation next year. We have to adapt it slightly. So there's weaknesses in this team. Our defense is very good, but there are weaknesses, and one of them is our ability to see things out at the end of the season, which is hard to predict at the beginning on, because we can smash through all of these teams first 5 games, and we get to April and we lose 3 in a row, and then suddenly we're battling Man City again. So it's really difficult with us because how we start the season is not how we end. And that's what's
very frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we will be like, like pummeling teams left, right, and center. Some of them 5-6-0, and then towards the tail end of it, that's when shit hits the fan. I'm sorry, but again, you know what I mean. And that's what really infuriates me, especially last season, as well as you know what I mean. When it comes to the Aston Villa game, especially how we capitulated that, and that's the thing that really fears me the most, is that if it's going to be a repeat. And that's where I think Arteta really needs to kind of strengthen himself up, where he needs to take a lot of the blame himself, because as much as he wants to instill on pitch and that style of play, which we can all applaud him for, I think his man management needs to kind of be taking a bit of a strength in himself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he needs to tell these players, look, man, you want this Premier League, go out there and play for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
facts. And I'm like, there's no like, you can be all sophisticated and philosophical about it, but just go out there and play like you want the Premier League.
Yeah,
exactly.
The whole year when you're up against
exactly.
Man City, there's other unknowns in this, man. Like, who knows what state how United are going to start the season? Like, look, they're doing some serious business. Like I said, they're in the title challenge, but they're not going to be as bad last year if they get all these signings over the line. That's for sure.
But do you reckon like there's
Chelsea,
any rival?
Villa, Like Liverpool, unknown. Like these guys are improving. Liverpool's maybe an unknown one, but Chelsea, United, and Villa are improving. Spurs, and if Spurs get Ivan Toney, like I'm not saying these guys will win the league, but I'm saying when we're coming up against these teams now, these are going to be tougher situations to deal with now, and these guys are going to do that. So it's tricky, man.
Do you reckon, like, if you now all those teams that you have listed, United, Chelsea,
Will any of them challenge?
Spurs, do you think any of them should we be looking out for like closely in the upcoming season? Because right now United fans are kind of jumping for joy with all these new signings that they're getting in.
United making do some good business for sure, but they're still
they got some restructuring, which is good for them.
I'll tell you what, I actually, my one team I'd say is going to be a surprise. I think Chelsea are going to surprise people. Not saying they're going to compete, but I think Chelsea are actually going to start. If Reece James stays fit, that Chelsea side is nuts in the first 11 right now, especially with some of the business they've done. But Reece James and Cole Palmer on the same side is absolutely insane. That's diabolical. That if we fit Reece James with Cole Palmer in front of him is absolutely insane. And then Kunku stays fit. I do think Chelsea will surprise people this season. They're not going to win the league, but I think they're going to be a surprise of that bunch. I do think the others will be better, but yeah. Chelsea.
You reckon that they will fight for the top 4?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, damn, I was gonna ask you this, but okay, top 4 predictions right before we close down this show.
Ipswich, Southampton. No, Ipswich again. Europa League. Sorry, I forgot. Oh my god, that tweet is so funny. brother said with chess, this team gets Europa League. Oh, I can't believe these guys. We cannot let these guys do 5 in a row. But I'm gonna go. I think they're gonna do it. I think Pep's last season. I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna break history.
Come on, man.
It hurts, man. But I think Man City have got it again. I think Man City. I think we come second again.
He said what?
Then I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm not sure about Liverpool.
Even with this transitional period, you're really gonna put them up there?
No, I'm not sure about Liverpool third. I'm not sure about Villa with Champions League as well. I think transition. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna put.
Would you put United?
I'm gonna put United third.
You put United in third?
I'm gonna put United third. I put United third, and then here's where it's Liverpool or Chelsea for me. I think Villa and Spurs flip off. Spurs signed Toney though. Oh god. Fourth, I'm gonna go with Liverpool. I don't think it's enough. I don't think they'll slip off that much. But yeah, so I'll go City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool. Then I think it'll be Chelsea, Villa, Spurs. After that, I don't really care. But Chelsea. I'm generally thinking about Chelsea with that 4th spot, over Liverpool. I don't know with Liverpool. I don't know. Hopefully, it's us first, man. I can't take. Vibes. Listen, I think Chelsea are going to be surprised. Watch they get bad their first 3 games. You're going to bring this clip back up. I think Chelsea will surprise people. It's going to be close, but Liverpool's still got a good squad.
Listen. So just to clarify, we have City number 1, Arsenal 2. You said Chelsea 3rd.
United.
Oh, United 3rd, and then who you said for 4th?
Liverpool. But I think that 4th spot is like potentially even goal difference. I think that's going to be close.
That 4th spot's going to be up for grabs. It's going to be up for grabs. It really will be. It's going to be a tough one though. At least for that top 4 placement.
Based on everything now, like that's how I predict it. But like we're still in July, man. Like
yeah, I know.
yeah, barely anyone's done any transfer. But by the end of the transfer window, or not
It's
even
gonna be a whole
before the
different
season starts, it's gonna be a whole different game. But if the season starts tomorrow, that is what I think would happen.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Definitely, you know, I mean, after the you know, after the first
After
5
two
games,
free signings from each team, this is going to be different, man. It's going to be
I'll
different.
say
And
this, man.
those first 5 games.
Obviously, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna say it's with chess.
Awesome.
Obviously, we're gonna go number 1.
Oh,
We have
yes,
to win
Lee.
the title. Yeah,
All right.
I think.
Brilliant.
I think so. He has to deliver something. It has to be the
Yeah, he
Premier League
does.
to me.
He does.
And if he doesn't, well, we're gonna have to look at options. And the questions have to be asked. And Rich, his brother is asking about this bet that I did with you know Joe Blackman, man. I'm talking about something of
What was the
grand
bet?
importance.
Arsenal finishing above United.
So yeah, so there's this bet that me and Joe did. Yeah, man thinks that the Man United are gonna finish above Arsenal this upcoming season, and basically he had so much confidence that you know like all right, make a bet on it, £50,
How much?
and I'm like cool, and I'm like I have no problem with it because I feel so much confident that Arsenal will finish above Manchester United
If
because
Man United finish above us,
it's peak.
he needs to go.
And also, Vibes also included a other stipulation as well that there will be a black chip, or was it the you know hot chip challenge?
On top of it,
Yes.
on stream, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It will be done. So it's so yeah, it's basically Joe basically just likes to waste his money. But anyway. But no, as I was saying, Arsenal will go, you know, Premier League champions in my opinion. Once we continue to add on players, City will go second, third. You know,
United are 22-1 to win the league. £10.
oh, also, oh yeah, also the shirt. So yeah, the loser has to wear the you know opposing
man,
shirt on stream.
So you got to buy it as well.
It's either you have to buy it or you can find it at some you know local bin. You know what I mean?
Just get a fake one. Just get a fake one. Get a fake one. Wear that. Oh, Palace 250-1 to win the league.
Now the third. I don't know, you know, third. I don't know who. I mean, I could put. The thing is, I don't want Chelsea.
Who'd you go? You went Arsenal C, yeah.
Yeah, so Arsenal are top.
Then
Man City are second. I can't give United that. See, the thing is, yeah, I'm United will definitely get top 4, but they're not gonna get third in my opinion, because there's still some you know potholes that they're not gonna.
Did they get conference or Europe? They got Europa, right?
I'm sorry.
They get Europa League. You know, yeah, they did.
No, like if they were to get 4th place, they would get Champions League.
No, as in this season they're playing Europa League.
Oh, you know, oh yeah, this season, yes, they'll be in Europa League. Yeah. But I think with the signings that they're gonna, I think in this window,
the signings are good, man. The signings are good.
But still, I don't think it's not gonna be enough though.
Not to win the league, I don't think. But it's
no, but like definitely enough for them to kind of put in squad depth to make a run in for the top 4.
If they get everyone they're talking about, bloody, if they throw in Zubimendi as well, like Jesus, like it's just nuts. But I think the squad depth is there, and the big thing is if they get Rashford scoring again this season, yeah, that top 4 is definitely theirs.
I think
they had the whole last season. They weren't that far away, and then, well, I mean, points wise, it wasn't great, but they had their top goal scorer just disappeared for the whole season. He's not gonna have a shit season again. Like he's just not.
Man, the thing is, I can't rule out Tottenham, but at the same time, Chelsea,
not with their current team. But listen, if Tottenham add Ivan Toney, this is a very different. This is different gravy now. Put Ivan Toney in that team with James Maddison, Son, and Kulusevski behind him. Like that's a serious attack.
Diabolical. That's diabolical.
That's a serious attack. Like that's
a good attack.
That's deadly. That will win them a lot of games. Defense is shaky for sure. They need another midfielder. They need another defender. They also added a backup. They're talking about who are they talking about for? No, he's coming back from loan. That right back that they signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashford is hard cold, but he was arse last season, man. He was trash. He's not going to be that good. Like he's going to be good this season compared to last one, which means you're getting some goals from him.
Screw it. Okay, I'm just gonna
screw it. Have I sold you? Have I sold you on United? Can't believe I'm back. I'm literally promoting United getting third here.
No. I'm just gonna have to go with. I'm just gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to say Chelsea because as much as I hate Chelsea,
Maresca ball.
I think Chelsea might somehow, some way they might have to go with Enzo Ball.
I'm telling everyone right now,
Enzo Ball.
If Reece James stays fit this season, if he stays fit, that right hand side is going to be filth. Reece James and Cole Palmer, like, come on, man.
They'll find a way to kick off all the cobwebs that were last season, but I think that they'll piggyback from
injuries.
what
It was another thing with United, like same with United. It's like these guys were riddled with United, Newcastle, and Chelsea. As much as it hates me to say, you guys were riddled with injuries for a good chunk of the season. Absolutely riddled with injuries. Gusto is good, but he's not better than Reece. He's not better than Reece James. No, he isn't. Not fit Reece James.
And then I'll say United fourth. And then I'll say United fourth. I think that's fair. But then again, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Liverpool. I mean, the thing is, the reason why I'm not going to put Liverpool at third is because, again, this is a transition year for them. I don't think it's going to be the first time we'll be seeing Arne Slot's time. You know what I mean? In the Premier League, we don't know how his style of play will be adapted into the Premier League. So
taking the piss.
What? What happened?
I said the player they signed is Min Hok Tour. Nah, you're taking the piss.
This brother, man.
Chelsea will surprise people, man. If they stay fit, it's the same with United. We got to assume that these players are going to be fit. They're not going to have bad injuries. Like it's going to be a different proposition. But
last one,
I hope they both finish 10th. So
who do you think is going to be goal scorer? Top goal scorer.
Top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haaland. Like, let's not do anything crazy here. It's going to be Haaland. Honestly, I will say Ivan's going to be up there if he goes to Spurs. I just think that team it's so good, that front four, in terms of the profile of players they've got for an Ivan Toney. Spurs would be crazy not to go and sign him for 60 million. But yeah, it's going to be Haaland, but Ivan's going to be up there. Watkins will be up there again. Listen, Matea's up there. He better be on that.
Mateta, you know what?
He better be on that plane to the World Cup.
We'll see. We cannot underestimate Palace, though. Real talk.
If Matea does well, though, we'll take him in Jan. There you go.
Man said, "I'm telling you, Rich, just leaves man them with questions unread." This is some crazy. This is some crazy allegations. Yeah, this is crazy allegations. But listen, man, them everyone in the chat. Yeah, I do appreciate you guys for tuning in to this stream. Really, 100%. Yo, shout out to man like Tariq Talks, who had to dip early. But 100% shout out to everyone. Please show some love to the homie Crab as well, and all of his links and to all his socials are in the description as well. Crab, let them know where they can find you as well here.
Find me on TikTok, 2 accounts. CrabDribble for my FM/football account, Box Office Lucas for TV, films, you name it.
As you can see, man, football manager pervert right here, man. You can find him. You can find him over there on TikTok, bro. Great content, honestly. But yo, with that being said, let's just hope Arteta delivers. If he doesn't, it's peak for us. We're in the mud. But anyway, we out, people. Big up.